is all you need.
What are we making?
What?
Hello.
We're making chocolate graham wafer cookies.
Yay. Well, I thought you said they're rum cookies.
Rum balls without the rum.
Without the rum. We're not drinkers.
No. So what you need, some graham crumbs,
Boom.
unsweetened chocolate,
How?
condensed milk, and a double boiler. We don't have one, so we just have a big ass pot and a glass bowl on top. Woo!
Damn it, can you stop
fill
walking?
some of this up with water?
Hot water? Cold water?
Hot water.
Hot but cold water?
Hot. Okay, so bring that to a boil.
Yes, ma'am.
Do I put this in one?
We'll find out. Get out of here.
So we need 2 ounces of chocolate, but it says 2 squares. So I'm hoping that these are. Oh God!
4 pieces equal 1 ounce. You're welcome, Sharla. That's why we try to teach people how to read. Flip it. Pour.
Oh look, it's got it all written on.
Wow.
1/4 of an ounce. So I need a knip.
Kniffy. Just separate it.
Don't make a mess.
I'm amazing.
Should we just add this?
Sure. It's just got milk. That doesn't seem like a lot of chocolate though.
Just 2 ounces.
Yeah.
Success!
Sharla, you're like a chef.
Thank you.
You're chef boy, our Sharla. Here, Sharla, I got the oven mitt.
Okay. So it initially said 2.5 cups. And you always mix one at a time, otherwise you fuck yourself. Not her words exactly.
But our words.
Oh yeah, it's looking good.
Looking hard, time to take it off.
It's getting thick. Just like she said.
You gotta roll it in. Roll it, holy it in.
Hope it's taking over.
In case you haven't noticed. Gloves are off.
Sheep and rolling graham crumbs are coconut. We prefer the graham crumbs. Yep. So we need a baking tray. And this is where you gotta get the dirties. Is you just take a little ball of it. And if it starts to get too firm, you gotta just put it back on the boiler. You take a little bit, you roll it like this, and then you sprinkle it in the ground leaf crumbs. Done.
Looks good though.
Okay.
They look delicious. You go first. You're my
No, we're
you're,
trying them at the same time.
You're my poison tester.
No!
How do I know you didn't slip some cyanide in
Because you
here?
watched me do the whole thing.
Ready? 1, 2, 3. Feel okay? No, good.
Some milk?
Get some milk, that'd be a lot better. You want another one?
Oh.
If you want the recipe, go here. We might post it on Patreon. Ooh, Sharla.
What are we making?
I'm making, it's like a bits and bites kind of thing.
Nuts and bolts.
Nuts and bolts. It's like kind of, not I wouldn't say like a family tradition, but we usually make it like every Christmas. So if that's what traditions are, I guess it's a tradition. But it's a little bit different because a lot of times when you have like nuts and bolts, people put like fast stuff in it, like Cheerios and nuts. So we are doing it differently. We call it's like the version that I like to call just the hits, or preferably I like the term just the bangers. So we got the Ringolos, ooh, the best ones. We got the cheesies and crunchy cheesies, not the soft cheesies. We got cheesy nips. We have bugles. We got more bugles. And then we have some corn chips. And then we have 2 bags of Crispers. And we have a bag of Doritos. So, and I guess a thing of checks, but it's more, we'll see.
I like the check.
I guess back in. And the cheese bits. So, only the best things, like, I basically wanted the mix that you didn't know what to choose because it was all great. Like, it was all really good. So you mix things a little bit differently because, as you can clearly tell, there's too much stuff here. There's so much. What are we gonna do? How are we gonna mix it all? We're gonna use a bowl. Just kidding. We're gonna use a fucking big ass container. This is the only way that you can possibly fit everything into a container.
It is clean.
It is clean. We spit cleaned it earlier this morning, so. Wow, so much food. I don't know how we're gonna eat it all. This is like one afternoon for us. Hopefully. Like this, hopefully. Sharla, we might have to portion ourselves a little bit because we need it to stretch to fill the night, okay? Okay, so now that everything's mixed together, or now that everything's put together, you gotta like stir it around a little bit. Look at that. Tell me it doesn't look amazing. Like you're like, oh, I'm gonna pick out none of it. I need a handful. So this is done, so we can put this away for now. Okay, so we've added it all up, and it's roughly 68 cups of food that we've put in. And the recipe calls for every 13 cups. So we figured we have to pentuple the recipe. So we're gonna do that now, but we're gonna do a time lapse of it because it's crazy.
What goes in it?
We gotta put, so the normal recipe is 1/4 cup of butter, 2 tablespoons of oil, 1.5 teaspoons of celery salt, garlic salt, and onion salt, I think. 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce, Worcestershire sauce, and 2 dashes of hot sauce for color. Sharla, stop eating it! You can't eat it now. No, you're not taste testing. Sharla, oh my god. You can't be trusted with food. Then we gotta do this. So this is what we're gonna do. You're gonna pour like a little bit on, then we're gonna mix it up. So basically, when you're done, it should look like there's a pretty healthy coating everywhere. This should almost look soggy, but not quite soggy.
How long do they cook for? Oh shit.
Oh, no. So you cook it for an hour, on 200. 2, not 350 like we did initially. If you cook it on 350, I'll show you. The bottom burns a little bit, and then you got some toasty ones. The rest of them are fine, but you still got the toasty ones. And then we've already done this a few times, but you have like your big container, and then you put them in your big container. And then these are the good ones. This is what it's supposed to look like. Ooh, nice and not dark at all. And then you we're just gonna drop them on top. I don't try to shake off too much of the crumbs because you don't want to eat that. So 2 turned out really well, and 1 was just a little bit poopy. There you have it. You have a perfectly nice nuts and bolts mix, or the bangers as I like to call it. All of it looks good. It's hard to pick which one. And it has like a really nice flavor to it. Sharla would like one. Now you can have one. Notice how she had a hard time. Notice how she had a hard time picking which one she wanted because they were all so good.